Welcome everyone to Poland in the year 2000. And we begin this evening with a somber scene. Stress and the strain of the past few days are starting to tell. Standing around the recently dug grave for Lieutenant Parker, with Kobe holding his dog tags and looking down at the small wooden cross that marks his final resting place. Flashes of previous conflicts flood into your minds. Dunkirk, D-Day, Vietnam, and now Poland. And Kobe, you realise with Lieutenant Parker's death, you're the senior member of this ragtag bunch of delinquents. Their lives rest in your hands, and the decisions you'll need to make will shape their futures. Pies. The loyal dog lies alongside the grave. There's sadness in his eyes. He tried to save Parker. He even finished off 2 of those nasty Soviet soldiers that were trying to kill all of Parker's friends. But alas, it wasn't enough. And he lays there, head down upon the ground. Sadness. Kobe, you look around and you see Grayson and Doddy stood there, both carrying injuries from the fight. You think of the pain you have from the wounds that you took. But maybe it's not time to look back. The LT put you on a road. You made a decision to follow these tracks, to find an answer. Can you back away? As your thoughts come back to you stood in front of his grave, his friends stood around him, and we'll leave it to you.
Kobe, the character, is dressed in his best uniform, tried to make it so that it is as ceremonial as possible. Jacob, the player, is wearing the IMT logo in honor of the players who lost his character. We could sit and talk about our situation, about our choices and survival, shout in despair and anger towards the heavens at the unfairness of it all. But for now, that right belongs only to the person laying down before us. Now, it is time to reflect upon who Lieutenant Parker was and what he meant to each one of us. But how much can one know? How much can one say about somebody we have only known for 3 short days? I suppose one can know a man by the choices he makes. When I first met Lieutenant Parker, I was jumping into a Humvee that slowed down just enough for me to jump in, and just in time as I was escaping a most certain doom. Inside the vehicle was a severely wounded captain, whose very chances of survival were grim to none. That is the first choice we have come to know Lieutenant Parker by. Lieutenant Parker commanded us forward to find medical aid and shelter for the captain as our first priority, forsaking safer options that would bring us further from harm. The lieutenant took measure of each one of us and declared us fit for the task, and personally accepting the risk of what could happen to an officer were he or she to be captured by the enemy. And thus, we have come to know that Lieutenant Parker had a clear sense of responsibility. And then in a clearing in the forest, he made a second decision. While balancing on the edge of a blade, he managed to save a young girl from a rather gruesome death, while also sparing the lives of the cannibals from whose clutches she escaped. And thus we have come to know that Lieutenant Parker had a clear sense of what was the right thing to do. I have come to respect him for the action and for his decisions on that day, for Lieutenant Parker believed in the value of life over that of the value of death. Where there is life, there is hope. Hope for people to do better, to live better, and to make better decisions. Opportunities for advancement that death would rob us of. He would not take a life in so casual a fashion. Though granted freedom from obligation by the dissolution of our higher command structure, Lieutenant Parker ordered the attack on an enemy position, freeing people from the yoke of oppression and liberating the free flow of medical and other supplies to those in need. And he judged the men under his charge and gave each person tasks suited to the best of their abilities in the execution of their goal. And thus, we have come to know that Lieutenant Parker possessed a keen intelligence and presence of command to succeed in his goals. When faced with a former Polish soldier suffering from shell shock, Lieutenant Parker dealt with the situation in a conciliatory and non-violent manner. And thus, we have come to know that Lieutenant Parker was a man of compassion and understanding. And to what has brought us to this dark place. What seems like just moments ago, Lieutenant Parker forgoes the opportunity of an advantageous ambush condition to parley with an enemy with the goal of gaining vital information for the war effort. And as much as it stands to be, a chance to spare enemy lives. And when those efforts went awry, as the bullets started flying towards those he took under his charge, he thrust himself into the path of the bullets while pushing me under cover, thereby saving my own life. And thus, we have come to know that Lieutenant Parker was brave and selfless. To answer the question posed at the beginning of this eulogy, how much can one say about somebody we have known for only 3 days? In the case of Lieutenant Parker, one can know and say at least as much, if not more, than what one could of a lifelong friend. In the short time we have come to know Lieutenant Parker, we have come to know a person with a sense of responsibility, a man with a clear sense of what is the right thing to do and the courage to do so, a man of keen intelligence and presence of command, a man of compassion who was both brave and selfless. He left the world a better place, and the world is now lessened by his passing. I would like to leave you all with 2 lasting images of Lieutenant Parker. As the first, remember the man who took comfort at night, lying in the middle of a field, watching over the heavens. As the second image, imagine him taking his well-deserved place in the heavens, watching down over us here on Earth. Strive to live up to his example, for if we are to continue to be deserving of this world, it is up to us to make our choices based on the very same qualities possessed by Lieutenant Parker. I'm gonna, at this point, turn towards the grave, mutter a quick Iskadal Vishkada Shemiraba, and at the base of the cross, the jacket that I had took off to work is laying at the base. As I uncover it, there's a large stone or placard with the following scrawled in with chalk or some other scrawlings of rock against stone. And it reads, "Here lies a man who did things, not because he was told to do them, and not because these things were good for him to do. Here lies a man who did things because they were the right things to do. For the sake of all humanity, do like this man." And I bow my head in silence.
The birds kind of chirp a little bit in the trees as Dottie, you and Grayson stand there after hearing the monologue from Jake. Sorry, from Kobe. And silence then ensues. Meanwhile, short distance away, in a bush, 2 figures are watching. Isaac? Is it Isaac?
Isaac.
Yeah. You are with your companion, Katarzyna, and you are sat concealed, watching this scene, watching the aftermath of the battle that you heard after you passed the lone American officer running through. You were tracking some Soviet forces that had infiltrated these woods, searching for something. And you didn't witness the gunfight, but you've seen the results of that gunfight. It seems that these American troops here lost one of their own. You can see Kat turns to you. He is talking for a long time, yes? And she speaks English as well as Polish, but you're speaking in Polish at the moment. Do you think they were chasing the other American? They stopped the Russians.
They did. I have no idea, but if they don't get a move on, there's going to be some other Soviet forces crawling around this place before too long. What do you think? We should go warn them?
Conan is not a safe place for them. You know that. I know that. We should go talk with them.
Not to go that way, yes?
We have to find what we are searching for. Perhaps they've seen something. Maybe they know something of this officer that was running here. He was running in a hurry. And that damn message has been playing now for since yesterday, every hour. And it is stirring up a hornet's nest. The militia are even.
What do you think it means, huh? What do you think it means?
I do not know. We know what is transmitted. We hear the numbers. But it is code. You know that. I know that. Perhaps they know more. Let's slowly go and take a look.
You wait here. I'm going to go and speak with.
Okay. She pulls out a crossbow and she loads a bolt in there. It's got a sight on it, and you know she's fairly good at it. She doesn't use any sort of gun. She has a crossbow and a knife.
Right.
And good luck. Yes, good luck. If they shoot you, I'll try and stop them first, but hopefully they won't shoot you. Okay, so you
make my way towards them. I make sure I've got my guns kind of slung over my back as I kind of come down, and I've got one of my hand out in front of me so that they can see that.
Right, okay. Right, we'll just leave you. Back to the graveside. Excellent words check, by the way. Love it.
It's very emotional.
It's very emotional.
I thought it might have been stress relieving for my fellow
yes
soldiers.
You'll have to ask them. So you are all by the graveside. Grayson, you are leaning on your butt of your weapon. You're going to need to find something just to help you walk. Your injury is bad, but not life-threatening. It's been treated, it's been bandaged. It hurt like hell getting it out of your boot, and it hurt worse getting it back into your boot. But at least the boot gives you a bit of support. You all left the UAZ 469 back hidden away, and you were tracking these tracks after hearing that coded message when the firefight came. As you turn away from the grave, you see a bearded individual coming out of the brush. I assume you grab weapons, or rather, Doddy grabs a weapon. Would you like to describe your character, Mark?
Yeah, he's a stern-faced looking fella. He's quite well built. He's got kind of quite short hair, which is kind of streaked with grey, and a kind of close-cropped beard, which has also got little bits of grey in it. Although his face looks younger than you'd expect. And he's kind of approaching you with his arms up, trying to show you that he means you no harm.
I have immediately, from the point of hearing, turn round, pull up my rifle, point it in this individual's direction. I say, nice words, Kobe. That was grand. Who the hell are you? And what do you think you're doing here?
You can see Pies is immediately up on its feet, and claws coming out, and teeth growling. And if you go back to the landing page, Croy, you'll see an image of the newcomer.
Ooh.
Next to Pies, you see the dog is. And see, he goes over and just moves next to you, Doddy, and he's there. Obviously recognizing the accent in your voice as being close to Parker's, obviously. What are you guys doing?
Stop right there.
I stop. You'd best not hang around. Those gunshots would have been heard from a mile away. Good that you buried your friend, but you can leave the others for the dogs. Or the cannibals.
Oh, don't worry, we will.
You're American, yes?
I am, yes. So's this one.
Who are you and
you
where are you
avoid...
from?
Well, I'm no Soviet. That's for sure.
Good to know.
You won't be welcome in Conan. If you're heading that way, forget it.
Well, we need supplies. I don't think our welcome matters.
Well, let's just say they are less welcoming of Westerners.
See, the dog just takes a step forward from in front of Doddy, and he's just sniffing at you. Not getting too close.
It's just some friendly advice.
That won't matter much if it's the closest place for us to get fuel.
Are you intending to steal from them?
We're intending to trade.
They won't trade with Americans.
That's a good job I'm not American then, isn't it?
That's a good point. Everybody loves the Scots. You're welcome.
Aye. I'll be fine. I'll do all the talking.
I just kind of look at their uniforms with the US flag kind of adorning them.
And at this point, you hear a twig snap from your left, and you see a rather scraggly-haired woman with a crossbow, not aiming at you, it's pointed down to the ground. You're going to need some different clothes if you are to go into Conan. And my friend here is correct. Most will not trade with you.
How many more of you are there?
Some that will trade. It is just the two of us, and I am just armed with a crossbow. It is okay.
We could give you a list of supplies and that we need. And you can have whoever's willing to trade with us meet us at the outside of town. There's no reason for us to upset anybody's sensibilities.
I suppose maybe we can come to some arrangement. Oh. There was another officer passed through this way shortly before you did. Is he with you?
No.
How much sooner than now did he pass through here?
Would it be about an hour ago now?
I assume Cat answers.
Yeah, about an hour ago. He started to run harder when he heard gunshots. I assume it was you and these fine Soviet troops. Just walks over to one of the bodies and just kind of kicks it. Spits on it. Not all Poles. All of the Soviets. Unfortunately, as my friend says, Conan has an old school civil leadership. They are pro the old communist regime and pro the Soviets. There are some in town that could trade with you. We could get you in there, but you would need clothes. But we are not here on a hunting trip. Well, perhaps we are.
What is your interest with the American that passed?
He was heading north towards the town. He was too far away from us to pop in and say hello. But he was running and he was looking back the way he came. And then we see you here fighting the Soviets. Why are you here apart from fuel and supplies? Is there something else that you have seen or heard?
Say in Polish to Cat, do you think they heard the number station? Maybe we should ask.
She might be right. It's possible. You know, they kind of converse a little bit in Polish.
Well, we are here for fuel and supplies, and we best head out. And if we so happen to head out in the same direction as the other American and find him, perhaps that would be not an unhappy passing.
I'll no shoot you just now then. And I put my gun down.
Would be a good thing. I do not want to die now.
Yeah, I guess at this point they probably noticed that Isaac is wearing kind of a tattered police uniform underneath the flak jacket that he's wearing.
More than likely, yes. Yeah. There'd be no roles, but yes. You know how happy they are about policemen. Yes, there is yes, definitely a Polish police uniform there.
You mentioned something about hunting.
No, we are searching, yes.
Well then, you're probably best suited to lead us through to follow those tracks and get us towards that American in the town as quickly as possible.
And I say, look at Cat with a quizzical look. Did he just order us?
She shrugs. Well, that is a very nice idea. Perhaps some introductions are in order. My name is Katarzyna.
My name is Kobe, and right there over there, that was Lieutenant Parker, and he meant a lot to us.
May I go and look at the grave?
You may.
She walks over.
I pull my gun on her. You don't disturb that grave.
I would not disturb the grave of the dead. It is a shame that... was he a a religious man. I do know a priest who would be willing to come out and do what the priests do. She just kind of just bows her head and says something in Polish, very, very quietly. Was he a good man or a good woman? I do not know. You Americans have women in combat uniforms.
He was a good man, and anything
he was good
that
enough.
you could do,
maybe not good enough, eh?
to honor his passing with a priest of whatever denomination you feel is appropriate would be greatly appreciated.
This is Poland, Kobe. We are very much a Roman Catholic country, much to the disgust of some of those that I'd rather be more back in the old days where religion was not so much important. I may be able to help you. I have some connections. I have some supplies that I may be able to push your way. I have no love for the Soviets, and she kind of looks at the 3 dead Soviet soldiers there that you've kind of stripped of weapons and equipment. I see that you don't. So, let's be honest with each other. You were tracking the American officer, yes? Why?
We saw a Jeep. It looked like it crashed on the side of the road. It seemed like there was a survivor. Our number are very few.
That is true. That is true.
We ourselves are only looking for a way to get home.
I can appreciate you wanting to get home. My home is Conan. For my sins, last winter was harsh on the town. We lost many thousands to the cold and to disease. It took a while for the dysentery to go through the population, but it did. It was unpleasant.
We're hoping this American might be another piece towards getting us closer to home.
Well, I can appreciate you wanting to get home. For me, I don't know about my friend here, but I want Soviets out of my country. You Americans did help when communism fell, and I appreciate that. But it'll soon be time for Poland to determine its own course. Conan is a devastated town. The population is not as great as it was pre-war. We lost many. There is a militia there. They are run by a Polish colonel. As I said, and as we said, they are pro-communism, pro the Soviet Union. So if you go to Conan, you will need to hide your uniforms. And do any of you speak Polish or Russian?
One of us did.
Not anymore.
You want to trade? You want fuel? You want food, I take it, and medical supplies? You see that you are all how does it say in the movies, banged up. But you'd lack the language skills. I think perhaps that my friend and we can help each other.
What do you want?
She turns and looks across at her companion. We want perhaps some information. Perhaps you heard something.
You mean heard something? We've heard lots of things. We've been told
Gunshots,
to get... Aye.
Vehicles, radios. What are you talking about?
Birds tweeting.
We can tell you this. We can tell you the Russians are likely, as we speak, in or on their way to Terek, which means Conan is not far off to be the next.
Most of the people of Conan would welcome that.
But you would not. And we can help you get out of here.
We can leave whenever we like.
I don't think we need to be adding more mouths to feed, Kobe.
We have
Unless,
to have
of
something
course,
to trade.
We are able to provide food.
I don't know how far you think you're going to get. Say, looking at the goddamn.
The long-haired, bearded fellow that's leaning on his rifle. Yes.
Dear, Rick. There we go, Rick.
She kind of turns to you. You talk with him, and she just kind of steps to the end of the grave where Kobe was stood giving his splendid eulogy, and she just kind of bows down and starts praying.
It's a bit late for that, is it not?
I pray for his eternal soul. You say he was a good man.
Aye.
I have my beliefs. You may not believe them, but give me a moment.
Watch her carefully.
She just pulls out a crucifix from around her neck. Just bends down, she kisses it, says a few words in Polish, leaving Kobe and Isaac. Let me write that down. Isaac.
Type it in the chat.
Isaac. But what do you say? Do you
No,
want
I'm
to
writing it down E''Zach, so remember, it's Isaac.
Sorry, Kobe.
Isaac, how do you intend on escaping the Russians? You could leave at any time. How can you leave? What resources do you have?
Well, we still move freely between these towns, which is more than can be said for you.
Until the Russians stop all free movement.
We know this land better than they.
We just came from Kalis, where there was a blockade, a Russian blockade not allowing medical supplies or food to move through. Do you think they're going to leave you all the resources that you need to survive?
No.
The Russians will take. They'll take everything that you have, and they'll leave you with nothing.
We will take it from them.
With
there
a crossbow.
There are more of us than you realize. Crossbow.
Do you just want to turn your back and just kind of show him your gun?
Yeah, well, I know. He's going to be showing.
I hope you're right, but I suspect that there are still a lot more Russians than there are people like you. And then there are a lot more that would support the Russians. Just look at Conan.
See, Cat kind of stands up. We have been fighting for our country for many, many years. My grandfather fought the Nazis. If we have to fight the Russians, we will fight the Russians.
Grayson just starts laughing. You all are so misguided. There are no countries anymore. Kobe, I respect your speech, but like, you talking like the Russians are going to be the end of these people? Everyone is going to be out to take what they want and what they need. No one cares about anyone else anymore. The three of us are only together because we happen to be together in a Jeep that drove out of Calais. I don't know this man. I don't know you, pointing at Dobby. I don't know anybody. Captain's dead. Lieutenant's dead. You're in charge, I guess. I'll follow your orders, but like, have you thought about why the people in Conan don't like Americans? I bet it's because some Americans rolled through and took whatever they wanted. Just like you're telling them the Russians are going to do. This is all ridiculous. We need to find supplies, and we need to get out of here.
It was
and
actually
if I have to do it at the barrel of a gun, I'm going to do it.
It was an American artillery attack. That's why they hate you in Conan.
There you go.
Do you not have family at home where you come from? Do you not long to see them?
Not anymore. And I've lost already most of the family I had right now.
I wonder if you would be thinking the same way if you were in America right now.
Oh, I'm sure things aren't great over there either. I know the people where I come from. I'm sure the states have fallen. I'd lay odds.
Let's go and try and find out if you're right or not.
I'm willing to try and find out. Can we just move? Like, everybody's hemming and hawing around who's fighting who. The war's over. There's nothing left, people. And Grayson just hobbles back to the grave and just sits down.
It's been hard on him. He spent the most amount of time with Lieutenant Parker. But he has a point. We should make a move on. We're not going to move that fast in the condition that we're at, and we're still an hour behind.
I have a place that you can rest up. It will be undercover, and it is not too far away from here. I can get you some food, and I can probably get you some clothing, so you can go into Conan and not look like Americans. I can mark this area, and perhaps we can get the priest out. Where is your intention to go? Are you heading for the Baltic Sea north? The German border?
With all due respect, I don't think that's any of your business, but, you know, maybe. If we, for some unknown reason, manage to get some trust between us, aye, we'll tell you then. We'll be watching you, but we'll be watching you.
So, how do we earn your trust?
Oh, some food in my belly would go a long way.
Do you like soup? A rabbit soup?
That sounds good.
Okay. Let us get you some food. Where you go, I honestly, I do not mind. Like I said, I want the Soviets out of Poland so that we can rebuild, restart. I have nothing against the American forces, nothing against the English or the French or the Germans. I just want my country back. I carry a crossbow now. And before the war, I carried pencils. I carried pens. I stood in a classroom and taught 10-year-olds. And I taught them history. I taught them about what the past was and what the future could be. That was wrong. War came and bombs flew. People died. Disease came. The world, your friend is right. The world is at an end. But if you abandon all hope, why do you fight on?
Who said anything about abandoning hope? Come on, you said there was
anything about fighting.
Let's go.
I'm just surviving.
Okay.
Come, let's get your leg rested up in the meantime.
We will take it slowly for your friend. She kind of...
You go at whatever speed you need to.
Okay. Isaac, shall we lead? I'm sure these fine gentlemen would prefer if we were in front.
I don't really give a damn what they want or what they prefer.
Isaac, be nice. We're trying to get some trust together. She starts walking. The tracks go this way, and she just kind of bends down and looks at the tracks from the fighting. Your American officer went this way.
Not my office. I start following.
As we start following, if I can get close to Isaac.
Yep.
So I see you're a policeman. Before you were a policeman, you were a soldier too?
No, I was a policeman. Always.
How long have you been serving in the police force?
There is no police force anymore. Now I just fight for the Polish people.
But you still wear the uniform. It means something to you.
I don't answer him. I just kind of walk past him.
Okay. You walk off. You can see Kat just bends down and starts looking at the tracks. And she has got some skill. As a woods person, she does know these woods fairly well. And she starts following on, occasionally turning around just to make sure that everyone is coming.
Yeah, I'd like to give a whistle and see if Pi is following.
Okay, you kind of turn, and he's at the grave as you're walking off, and he's kind of gets up and then chases after you, and goes up and kind of follows Doddy. Kind of it's a little wide berth around Jake. Around Rick, and goes straight to Doddy, Kobe. But yeah, you see him following, and follows nicely. See, Cat.
If anyone thinks to look towards Rick as he's walking or hobbling, he's ripping off all of his patches, any his name tag, any insignia that he has, and he's just tossing them into the dirt casually.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I would imagine that he is probably at the back of the column. Doddy, would you be helping them along?
Hi, Rick. Are you managing there, pal?
I'm all right. Just keep an eye on him.
Yeah. Well,
just wondering, is your medical badge still on?
No, everything. All insignia, all pattern.
Right.
Everything is gone.
Ooh.
Doesn't care what it does to the jacket or the pants or anything. It's just ripping it all off.
Okay. You continue on. Isaac, can you make a recon roll for me?
Probably not.
Such optimism to start the first roll of the game.
I just realized how good the rolls were for my first character, and how lucky I was, and then suddenly...
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that. Stats not looking so great. Oh, there it is.
Nice.
Okay, you are continuing on, you and Kat leading. She stops a little bit more than you, just turning and waiting for them to catch up, and you're just slightly ahead. And you see that the tracks kind of stop. But as you kind of start looking left and right to see where they go, you kind of just kneel down and start feeling the turf. And you can see that at this point, the tracks are still there, but whoever left the tracks started to conceal them.
Oh. I assume your officer slowed down here.
Kobe, you're probably up there, keeping fairly close to them with Doddy and Rick slightly behind.
So I point to the tracks then, show Kobe what's going on.
That's a blessing. If he took the time to cover his tracks, it means he's moving slowly and cautiously.
It also makes it more difficult for us to find him.
There are a limited amount of places he could be going. He's heading towards Conan, is he not?
Actually, that's a good point. Are these tracks heading towards the town?
They are heading in that direction, but they are kind of veering off slightly to the northeast.
And you know the areas around Conan if somebody was setting up a place outside of town to meet him. That would maybe limit the amount of possible locations they would be heading towards.
There's a couple of places it could go. There's a couple of outskirts, suburban buildings and farms on the edge of the woods, and they're going in that sort of general direction.
Are these farms abandoned? Do we know?
Most of them are abandoned. Yes. The farms, because it's a more wooded area. It's quite far away from Conan. The terrain and the farmland between the town of Conan and the river is more occupied there because there's a water source for watering plants, and there is still a little bit of traffic on the river. There's a little bit of boat trade that goes east and west through the river and through Conan. In fact, there's probably boats that these guys could maybe obtain and use if they wanted to get out of here on water.
If it looks like these tracks are being hidden, I could try to aid in following the tracks.
You can make a recon roll.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you can see where the tracks have been concealed, and as you kind of look a little bit further, there's a few bits of broken sticks and woods going slightly more to the right of you, going off this sort of trail.
Do I know if they're heading in a direction for one of these abandoned farms? I mean, is it obvious, or is it?
No, there's going in that direction. Unless they're going to walk for, 4 or 5 kilometers, they're not going to find anything in the direction that this is now going.
It would seem like these tracks are going to maybe double back or something. Clearly, it's being hidden. We follow the signs as long as we can, and then pay attention to where they're veering off.
Okay. Right. Okay. You can see Kat kind of comes up to You can see he is concealing but going that way. We should go that way. Perhaps your friend will be nearby.
But what is in that direction?
More of the forest. It is heading in that direction. Would head towards the river. Would be to the east of the town. Perhaps he is not going into Conan, which, to be honest, would be better for him.
I say to cat in Polish, do you think he's heading for the signal?
We could not find it local or anywhere obvious, so maybe it is hidden somewhere. Perhaps. She kind of turns to you, Daddy. You said something about you heard many things. Birds, gunshots. You said the radio.
Weird radio signals? Yeah, we heard one.
Really?
What do you know of this weird radio signal?
We heard it too.
What do you suppose it means?
It was a sequence of numbers in Polish. We do not know what it meant, but lately it has been repeating the same signal, whereas before
I believe Lieutenant Parker had a map, correct?
He did.
Yes.
So
you've got all his gear.
I'm going to pull out the map and say if those numbers were translated into location, longitude and latitude, where would they be on that map?
There were too many numbers to be a map coordinate. There were many numbers.
You can, of course, Isaac, translate the numbers.
I can.
Into English because you speak Polish and English.
I can. Do you want to know the sequence?
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to prep something to...
It's long.
Record it for posterity. All right, you warned me.
Yeah. 19. 20. 1. 20. 9. 15. 14. 3.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there, right?
Yeah, because it's gonna just repeat, right? No, it's not, is it? It's just 100 numbers.
Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick in chat.
Okay. Let's do that. It's gonna take a long time.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Rather than have
that's not gonna help. I'll tell you what I will do. Oh no, they're all.
You know, I think given an infinite amount of time with an infinite amount of typewriters, an infinite amount of monkeys, we might actually get the solution to this, but not during this session.
I've also shown you a Lieutenant Evan Parker gear, which shows the gear that he had and also the gear that you picked up from the fallen Soviet troops. We're not going to worry too much about encumbrance. You know, Parker had a backpack. Doddy's big and strong, and he's probably carrying those items there.
Dottie, while we're trying to find these trails, you keep a particular eye out and ear out for trouble, in case it looks like somebody's waiting for us. I'll help shoulder some of that gear.
Okay.
I'll take the pistol because I'm actually good with them and I don't have one. So.
Okay, all right. I'll slip the pistol onto your character sheet. You're getting quite an armory now, aren't you?
Me? I don't think so. I think I
got lots of guns, just no bullets.
The axe.
You got the axe. Come on. I want to see you use that axe at least once. Okay.
I would love to. Now I'm concerned about trying though. I'm gonna fall down trying to swing that thing.
Yep, you could do. And also, I've added the bits and bobs you recovered from the other Jeep onto your UAZ 469.
RG, yeah.
Yeah. So you can look at that and see what you've got in there as well. That's nicely hidden away. Items. Where's items?
Got a lot of AKs for trade, though.
Yeah.
We probably want to keep the ammo.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the AK ammo isn't going to work with our M16s, though, is it?
No, it's
not.
It will not.
The to be honest, you may want to keep some of the AKs because eventually, if you start running out of NATO ammo, you're going to be using AKs.
Have to swap.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And remember, bullets are still currency here, so
yes.
Go on a pack of cigarettes. Don't give away those clips.
Okay, you've got the Browning and 2 clips of ammunition.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. Where were we? Yeah, so you've got the numbers.
Yep.
So, Kat says, does this mean anything to you? It was Polish individual that is on the message. I feel
Maybe it's a number substitution cipher. Have you thought about that? Have you tried any of the usuals? You know, I mean, we learned about this stuff at basics, right?
There are 26 letters in the alphabet, and none of these numbers goes above 26.
I was a school teacher.
Aye. I was a farmer.
Farmers are in great demand. I would not know even where to begin with numbers. So you are saying that each number represents a letter? But how would you would need some sort of? I remember seeing a movie, a cipher or something. Yes.
Well, maybe, but have you ever heard of the infinite monkey theorem?
I have heard no tales of these infinite monkeys.
Well, you get enough of them, and you sit there, and you keep on typing, and at the end of it, you've got the entire works of Shakespeare. How about that? Now, those numbers, they're just like what Kobe said. You just need to keep looking at them until they make sense.
Okay. Well, let's go and find some rabbits for some rabbit stew. It is getting into the later part of the afternoon, so let us go and see what we can find.
What skill would we use for cryptography?
Cryptography, you would use... Oh, God, you needed Evan Parker. You needed an intelligence expert.
I'm pretty smart.
They're pretty smart, yeah. I think it will be... it will be intelligence, and it will be probably tech. I would imagine as the way of doing the cipher. And there are some talents.
I'm just going to tell you, I've already decoded it.
Well, so have I. I'm just separating it. I just didn't know if we could post it or not.
Okay, you've already decoded it, right?
I
okay,
have.
You have. Okay. In English or in Polish?
English.
In English.
Ah, right. Okay. Okay.
Same alphabet, right?
That works. Yeah. Okay. You start to move on, and who's going to make the recon roll to keep the tracks in line?
Well, can we assist each other?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it's a case of who wants to take the lead on it. You can get a +1.
Well, I guess
for being assisting. It's whether you want to take over Isaac or whether you're going to let your new guests, friends, associates, colleagues.
I think Isaac would know this area better than I, so I could give him the assist and he could take the +1. Unless you're really not confident, it's up to you.
Confident? Oh, definitely not. But I'll do it anyway.
I have faith. The rolls are normally good at the beginning of the session. It's at the end of the session.
Oh, you've jinxed it now. Oh, jeez, that was close.
That's a pass. That's a success.
Beautiful. Yeah, okay.
That dice roll, it teetered for a moment.
They always do. Yeah, you can see where the tracks go again into an area of the woods. And again, you know roughly where Conan is. Conan is probably a little bit northwest of where you are now, and it's definitely going a little bit northeast. So yeah, you start following. Cat is slightly behind you, and then Kobe is there, and then Doddy, and then Rick stumbling up. So, how do you like your rabbit stew? Do you like good stock? She kind of looks at you, Doddy. She's walking along.
Aye.
It's a shame we haven't got any.
Good soup, and no bones about it.
Carrots, potatoes, turnips. Yes?
Oh, aye. That sounds bra.
I think we can sort something out. Well, we'll find you some food this evening, my friend. I'll fill your belly with something good.
Well, there you go. And we'll tell you a story.
That sounds good. You continue on, following these tracks that are being concealed, but not concealed as well as they could be. And after about 30-40 minutes of going through, taking it a little bit slow because Rick is tailing up the back, you see something concrete and steel ahead of you. And you see this.
Ooh.
You see it open. See Cat comes up to stand by Isaac. I'd forgotten this place. It was one of the old bomb shelters back in the days.
Well, somebody remembered it. I kind of stand to the side. I look at the three. I keep saying, I was going to say Americans, but I can't say that. Allied forces. What do we call them?
Allied forces, yeah.
Allied forces.
You know.
Three amigos.
The three amigos.
Yeah, hopefully
yes.
friends at one point.
You can see. Hey, you see that? There's blood. It just points to one of the rungs of this ladder.
Is it
it's
fresh?
Just a little bit of blood. It's drying, but it's fairly fresh. It's not days old. It's hour old, maybe.
Rick, can you tell us how old that blood is? I'm trying to engage his interest. Because I know he's lost everything. So
yeah, how is Rick's mental state at the moment?
Exactly.
He's not good. He's good.
Yeah.
What do you want me to do? Lick it? You go ahead. You tell me.
I didn't ask for its type. I just wanted to know how old.
I'm not Navajo over here, man. Like, it's blood. Is it dried? I don't know.
It's not dry.
I look at Kobe and I just say, it looks recent.
All right.
As you kind of look down, there is a little bit of light at the bottom, but not a lot.
I'm going to look over to Isaac and say, well, you showed us trust by agreeing to lead. I'll be the one first in the hole.
No, you're not, Kobe. You're in charge.
Not.
Yes, I am.
You're going to be the first in the hole.
I pull out the Browning. I'll make do.
All right, I'll be right behind you then. I'm happy he's engaged. So yeah.
Go! Yes, go!
Exactly.
You can see Kat kind of, as Grayson is getting his pistol out, Parker's old pistol. She kind of leans over in your direction, Doddy, and kind of just quietly says, "He has a bad leg. Do you have any rope or anything that you could tie around him in case he falls? He might break the other leg."
Have you seen the size of his arms? He's no falling off that ladder.
I hope you're right.
Rick, would you prefer I go down first? Just...
I got it.
All right. We might be able to use the rope that's, hanging down that's used to close the door once we get down.
Can I see the bottom?
Yeah, you can. It's probably about 10 feet, 10, 12 feet down.
Oh.
Fine. I got it.
If you fall on your good leg.
Okay.
I'll try and fall on my head.
Sorry, I did in another game.
Oh,
did you?
No, you were pushed.
It wasn't fatal, honest.
Okay. Due to your state, I'm going to need you to make a mobility roll.
Sure. More than happy to.
Is there any way I can help him, by just leaning over and grabbing onto his
I don't think he wants your help.
I know he doesn't. I'm trying. I know he doesn't.
I have faith and confidence in Rob.
Oh, anyway.
It's not a botch. It's just a failure.
Yeah.
Well, it's just, are you going to push it?
Oh no, I can't. If I push it, I'll be I have one hit left.
Oh yes, if you push it, yes. Okay. Okay.
Out comes the rule book.
I'm just waiting to see the secret roles of the GM flash by in that chat.
Okay.
Well, there's conveniently another NPC now in this story.
There is conveniently another NPC in this story. Yes. Okay, so you start going. She kind of pulls out of her pocket a chocolate bar, Doddy. Do you think he's going to make it or not?
Listen, I can climb a ladder with one leg and one arm. I'm sure he's going to have no problem at all.
Okay. Yes. Are you pulling out? You're going one-handed, are you? With a pistol?
Oh no, I'm using both hands.
Right. Okay. You climb,
it's in my waistband.
You start climbing down, and you foot slips. Can you make one more? Let's see if you can steady yourself. We don't want you going down and taking 1 point of damage and going unconscious.
I mean, it's probably going to happen at -2 for mobility. But
no, I've got confidence. I've got faith.
Yay!
Oh no, I made it.
Look at that.
you manage to just grab on both hands and just kind of steady yourself and just kind of get your foot back on there, because you're literally having to jump foot at a time.
Yeah.
So you're not using your bad foot. You can see up top, he kind of slips and you're going and you see him grab on. And you make it down to the bottom. And he says, looking for his notes,
I go for those big arms, eh?
You can see
I have a flash. So yeah,
No.
just pull up the pistol.
but there is some light in here. There is ahead of you, through a door that is opened, and it's a steel door, and you can see there is a small table in the center of a square room. It's about 3 meters square, and there's another door going into another room. You can see there's a little table with an oil lamp on it, and the flame is quite small. It's shedding a little bit of light. A lot of shadows in there, but a little bit of light. The door, 3 meters ahead of you it's closed. And you pull out your pistol and just kind of look around and listen. Make a recon roll for me, please.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful. You listen, and you hear no breathing, no voices, nothing to indicate, you've clipped any traps or anything like that. You can hear, you think it's probably from the next room. You can hear a hum of machinery or something. You can also see in the room on your left there is a blue drum with liquid in it. You can see a bit further that side there's a composting toilet. And a sink. And as you turn and look to your right, there's a little walled off area with a door open. You can see a composting toilet. Definitely no one in this room. Door ahead of you.
Well, I don't know how big this place is, so I want to check that before I wave anybody down. So I open that door. Okay. Or try to.
Yep, you hobble across. As you hobble past the little room on your right with a toilet, you can see there is some racking, 3 shelves. There's some blankets. There's a few other small boxes of bits. You can see a box of shotgun shells. A couple of tins of food, peaches or dog food or things such as that. And you get to the door and you can see it's slightly open. You kind of push it open. Now for you, Kobe, up top, he's kind of stepped away from the ladder, so you now cannot see him.
But I'm assuming that the light, as he's moving forward, the light was so dim, the light now is even dimmer.
The light is dimmer because it kind of goes a bit.
A lot of it.
Yeah, it goes kind of a bit darker.
I would at this point start following down. I'm not waiting for any signal. Dottie,
I'll keep watch.
Isaac, you go down too. I'll stay here with
My name's
friend here.
Doddy.
Doddy.
Yeah.
Call me Cat.
Aye, Cat.
Okay. Make mobility rolls, you two. Who is UAZ 469?
Yeah.
Oh, crap, I'm so sorry.
He's a droid. He's a droid.
Here we go again. How do I do that?
Mobility. Oh, dear. Oh, no. I'm not... Just realised how good at this I
You've got skill in it, haven't you?
I don't know. Why have I got a -2 in that?
Look, we can have a repeat.
I'd much rather have my old statistics back, please.
Yeah. Fancy killing my character when he was so cool.
I don't think you will. I think probably you'll wind up, mashing my melanin and...
Oh, no. Not doing that again.
This is
I refuse to roll. Yeah.
Well, Kobe goes down first.
I'm pushing.
You're pushing. Okay, go on then.
Oh, shit.
Of course.
You miss.
By the way, I'd just like to tell you, command is a curse, mate.
Okay. You push, and you slip, and you bang hard into the ground. Your shoulder bangs into this rusted metal ladder. You take 1 point of damage.
Yeah, well, I'm trying to reset my...
So when I hear the crash behind me,
yes,
yell back, ladder slick.
Right.
All that blood,
I
right?
apparently have a -2 because of my backpack. What's that all about?
Yes, unequip your backpack. You wouldn't take your backpack down there.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Right. I just need to figure out how to...
Are you overburdened? Wow.
I don't know.
It's not overburdened. A backpack reduces your mobility. Makes it harder. That's why in combat they don't tend to run into combat with their backpack. So if you go onto your gear, and if you click the star and it does it. Now.
Start and you're not actually equipped it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh,
nice.
This is a decent roll.
I don't land on your head.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Very decent roll.
You, Kobe, you kind of bang and kind of step through into the room and I described it as you see it. Isaac, you climb down, jump, you slide down the like a fireman on a fire pole, but with skill. Land there, just everyone goes 9.7. Yes, it was a fantastic. You're a physical guy. You know how to handle yourself in these sort of situations.
Only this once.
Only this once.
Yeah.
See Doddy up top. You can hear the Kobe fall and slip. And then you see Isaac kind of jump down. The dog is kind of just stood by you. You can see. May I pet the dog?
You want to do what with the dog?
Pet the dog. Stroke the dog. Yes.
Aye. I mean, you can have it if you want.
It seems to be your dog.
No, it's a wee bit lost. We're just looking for its home.
She just kind of reaches down and... Nice dog. And he kind of steps away from the dog. Steps away, just kind of nuzzles up to your leg, Doddy.
I look down at it and just say, "Sit."
Go on, make a persuasion roll. I want to see a persuasion roll. I want to see you command it.
Are you not listening to me, dog?
Yeah.
It's lost in translation.
Yeah.
Anyone know Polish for sit?
To be honest, Dodd, all you need is a roll-up newspaper, mate. That's...
It jumps up on its back legs and plants its front legs on.
Oh, for fuck's sake, dog, get off me! And I take a step back and push it down. Jesus. You got to take some training. You're not a border collie, you're a hoodlum.
It is, Sejeds. You see the dog sits. Sejeds, it's Polish.
Well, it has been trained in, that's good. Sejed. I'll try to remember that, thank you.
No problem.
What's the Polish word for kill?
Sikkim. What's the Polish for sikkim?
Yeah, sikkim.
Did you ask the Polish for kill?
I'm not up there.
You're not up there. No, you're not up there, are you? It's Zabbage, by the way. But we'll get into that later. Okay. So, yes.
I reach down my hand and offer it to Kobe to help him up.
I accept the help for different reasons.
Minor blushes. Okay, so you are in the room with the toilet, the sink, the water barrel, and there is a rack with a few bits and bobs on it. Meanwhile, Rick, you have stepped into the next room, and you can see there is a door on the far side of this room as well, in a line. There's a desk in the center of the room, a table. It's looks like a door, and it's got two carpenters' sets of legs on them, and it's kind of resting on top of them.
Sawhorses, yeah.
Sawhorses, yes. You can also see in the far right-hand corner there is a stove. The pipe goes up into the wall, and you can feel a little bit of warmth from the stove. You can also smell coffee. And you can see there is a metal cup on the hot plate. And there's some liquid in there, and it looks like some coffee. There's only a small amount left, but you get that intense smell of coffee.
No one responded when I shouted back, "Watch out, it's slick," right?
No.
So I'm going to hobble back to the hatches.
Okay. Yep.
And I'm going to shout up, seeing, Isaac and...
You see Isaac and
Kobe. I'm going to shout up to Dottie. Looks like the owner stepped out for a minute. Be aware.
All right. Noted. And I turn around and...
Because the hatch was open. Got here, right?
Yes, the hatch was open.
Yeah.
You see Kat up top with you, Dottie, picks her crossbow up and just starts scanning one part of the forest and starts listening. So back into this underground bunker. You shout up past Kobe to Dottie and to keep an eye out. Are you turning back and going into the second room?
Yes. Gun up, because I still don't know if somebody is in here. Maybe they're hiding.
Okay.
But
Kobe, you can
so
also
far,
smell
a bit
of coffee.
Yeah,
smell of coffee.
I'm enjoying the smell of coffee. I'm appreciating it at this point.
The light in here, it's not great. There is an oil lamp. You could turn the oil lamp up for more light.
I was thinking that since we're protected from ahead, but the room that Rick is in now has another door beyond that?
It does, yes.
Mm-hmm. It does.
It does, yes.
And that door is closed, so I think
that door is closed.
Adding a little light won't alert anybody at this point, not from where this is. So
I've already shouted, so they probably, if there's somebody in here, they know we're here.
Yeah.
But before does Did we notice on the shelves any extra oil?
Not on the racking fuel in the first room, no.
No. So I'm not going to want to burn out too much of the fuel because then we'll be left in the dark.
Okay.
So, yeah, I recognize that trap. Thank you, Strain.
Okay, good.
But
it's a trap.
It's a trap. Really? He wants us to burn all our oil, and then it'll be dark.
In terms of there's blood on the rung, is there any blood in the corridor?
Yeah, I wasn't even looking for that.
No. No blood on the corridor. No blood at the bottom of the stairs. And it wasn't a lot of blood. It wasn't like a big patch. It was just a little bit of blood. Okay.
So when I saw that American officer earlier, did he look injured?
No. He was in fatigues. He didn't have a helmet or a hat on. He, I suppose, would have looked a little bit worn out, as if he'd been running. He had no equipment with him. He had a pistol in a holster. That's the only bit he had with him. Didn't even have a canteen of water, no backpack, no supplies.
Yeah.
Nothing. Okay.
Perhaps he hurt himself on the rung.
I think we need to follow the door through to its...
So this next door is closed?
Yes, the far door. So the room with the stove in it, you take the lamp in there, and as you shine the lamp around, to your right, there is a pair of bunk beds. The beds are made of blankets, a basic pillow. You can also see at the end of the bunk bed, there's a couple of fruit crates with some bits and bobs in. Can
we recognize the blankets and bedding as American? Meaning, is this American standard issue, or is this...
Make a recon roll. Make a recon roll. As you're looking at the beds.
That figures.
That UAZ 469 is letting us down once again, isn't it?
How do I change that? Oh, I must click on me.
Yes.
Click on yourself.
Click on yourself. Sorry. Yeah, because you've got access to the token to move the UAZ around. If you click on that, you'll roll it as if that's the controlling thing. Okay. You can't tell if the blankets or anything are US, Polish, civilian. They're just blankets. It's even with the light there. But when he shines the light up, Rick, you kind of noticed the stove. You didn't get a good look at it when you first came in here with the little light you had, but now with the stove light showing a bit more. The stove, it's an American military stove. Small, but it's definitely made in the US of A.
Well, I nudge Kobe and point at the stove.
All right.
And then I motion for Isaac to come over here.
Yeah, it's a US Army tent stove.
I go over to Rick.
So I say very quietly to him, "You said people don't like Americans around here. I'm going to tap on this door. Can you call out that in Polish that we're not going here to hurt anyone?"
Yeah. I do that. I call out in Polish. I just say...
tap on the door.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you tap on the door. You call out in Polish.
We are friendly. We're not here to harm anyone. Is anybody here?
Okay. And there is no response. And as you listen, you cannot hear any movement in the room. You hear some sounds, but not movement.
And I motion for Kobe to open the door while I've got it covered.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's smart. We suspect there are Americans in here at least. At least I'm still wearing an American uniform that's clearly identifiable.
Is there a radio?
Door.
Sorry? Is there a radio that we've seen?
Not in the room you're in, no.
I'll draw my pistol. I'll cover the door with Rick.
Okay, yeah. So you open the door.
While I open it, do I notice, like, in the cracks, any strings that might be there, or any wire?
Okay, make a recon roll.
All right. Just because I'm slowly opening it. My eyes are closed.
I'm checking for traps. I am.
Hey.
I am.
No, you cannot see any sort of wires on the door. No strings. Nothing that seems to be inhibiting the action of the door, or nothing that seems to be a trigger for anything that's going to happen when you open the door.
Gotcha.
Of course, whoever planted it may have made a recon roll with 3 successes, and
yes, they could have.
It could be totally fucked, and it could explode and kill you all, and Angie would have to find someone else to run a game on a Saturday night.
It'll only kill us. It won't kill you, mate.
Right. Okay, so there's nothing on the doors.
And I complete the movement of opening the door.
You open the door. Rick and Isaac, you are there with your pistols out. And you see another smaller room. Just looking on your right, there's another door, but it's on the right side, not straight ahead. So it's not in line with the doors. Looking in with the lamp that Kobe's got, you see on the left-hand side there is a desk. You can see a radio. You can see a tape recorder that's linked up to the radio. You can see on the floor a very, very small generator. It is running. And at that point, the tape recorder clicks and it transmits the message that you have heard before. Plays through the message for the minute and a half that it lasts, and then stops.
Are there any other cassettes or tapes here?
No, there isn't.
Are there any papers on the desk?
Yes. You can see a book on the desk, a leather-bound book, maybe 6 inches in depth. And it's got a US Army stamp on the front.
I'm going to open and take a look at that.
Okay. Inside of it, you can see many pages of numbers written down. You also flick through and can see several alphabet ciphers. They're strange to you because the letters are Polish letters, so some of the letters have umlauts on them and different bits of punctuation marks around them. But there's about 3 different pages of what look like to be number ciphers.
If the Russians have any equipment that will allow them to trace the origins of the signal being sent, we may want to stop the broadcast at this point and power down the transmitter. But I'm keen to finish making sure nobody else is here for doing that.
Well, there is a door to your right.
For a day, so...
Door to your right that you haven't looked at.
Yeah.
You've briefly skimmed the previous room, but you haven't had a good search of the previous room. There was a couple of fruit crates, and there were the bunk beds as well there.
Right.
There is, as I said, one more door ahead and to your right.
I'm going to nod over to Rick and Isaac, and I'm going to head towards the door and open it.
Okay.
Yeah, I cover it.
Okay.
Me too.
You open it, and you see not another room, but a tunnel. It looks like it wasn't part of the original construction. It's dug out, and there are wooden supports supporting the actual tunnel. It kind of goes a bit further down, then it twists to the right, and it's very, very dark down there. It feels almost a little damp down here.
Gabe tunnel.
Does it look like it's been used recently? I mean, if it's dug out, it's still dirt, or is it...
Make a recon roll. We know how good you are at that.
Yeah.
UAZ 469.
Hang on, let's see. I'm keen to know if I fix that.
Nope.
I did not.
But again, the Jeep was successful.
The UAZ 469 is a marvelous piece of modern Polish technology.
It put its headlights on.
It puts its one headlight on, and it shines the way for you. Okay, the tunnel itself looks like it's been there a while. There are some footprints going through there. It's slightly wet, as if there is some water somewhere in this area. The footprints are going through the tunnel away from the bunker. You also see there is a tripwire going across the tunnel, maybe 3 feet down from the doorway. And it's a wire going across, but it's hard to see what the wire's attached to.
Yeah, I'll call the attention out to that. Isaac, how long have you been hearing that transmission? When did it start?
It's been broadcasting for the last few weeks, off and on.
But it was a different transmission.
It was, but it's only in the last day the same transmission has been repeated for on the hour.
Last day, or that it started happening today?
The transmissions have been happening for the past few weeks.
Yes.
We kind of figured it was from an area near Conan. But in the last day, the transmission... every transmission has been different apart from the last day.
It's been repeating.
It's been repeating on the hour. The same message.
Well, I'm of a mind that we should stop the transmission, stop the generator to save the fuel in it and the power, stay here and see who comes to turn it back on and why. Maybe they could help us get home.
Could they have detected us approaching? They left in a hurry, maybe. Perhaps hurt themselves on the rungs, left the door open.
Doesn't look like they need to scavenge for anything. They've got enough supplies in here for probably one person for a decent amount of time.
Hey, whoever did this is our friend, obviously. So even if he did leave and is only going to come back with more people, that's to our advantage.
How are they our friend?
They're American. They're doing this transmission. We have the book. We can decode the message now.
Why are you assuming they're friendly, though? I'm sure they got the same message we did, if they are American. Also, I don't know. Parker didn't really give us any indication that they might be a traitor, did he?
Nope.
No.
You might have heard a name, though.
Yes. They Kobe would have heard the name.
Yeah.
Captain Gerard.
Gerard, that was it, Captain.
Comrade Captain Gerard.
Comrade Captain Gerard.
But you wouldn't have known in context what it was. Just that was a name you'd have heard.
I say, I mean, the prince led to here. You're hurt. We're hurt. We could use some food. This place is supplied. We set a guard outside in the tree somewhere far away. See who comes back and how many. We have a radio, and we have a radio here. We can use click code. Might not be a bad option. You could use the rest.
Where do you think that tunnel goes? I point to the tunnel with tripwire in it.
Can we seal that tunnel? Does the door have a bar or anything on it?
Yes, the door will have a bar on it, yes. But it's not a steel door, it's a wooden door.
It looks like it's trapped. If it's trapped, if we're careful, we could follow it and see what it.
You know, your explosive ordnance expert is above.
Yeah.
He did a great job on that shell.
That's true. Okay. I could take first shift guarding. I mean, there are provisions here. We didn't check the crates and didn't decode the message. So let's try to decode the message first. Scavenge for whatever it is we can from here and make this a resting base until we can figure out who's going to come back to fix this. Once we decode the message, we'll know whether we want to continue broadcasting it or not in any case.
Okay, and with that, we'll switch above to Doddy. You can see Kat herself is scanning, and I would assume your weapon is up and being alert. She kind of turns. Do you think they're okay? It's been quiet since he called out.
Fine. Oh, stay. Just, have you seen anything? Have I seen anything? What's going on?
I've not seen anything. And no, you haven't seen anything, Doddy. Nothing.
What about you, dog?
Around him. See, the dog is there. Sits down. Just kind of looks at you and tongue out.
See, this is a bit of a problem because we can't take this thing down that thing.
Hey, I can carry him.
Aye.
Yeah, he's not a huge dog, is he?
No, he's not a big dog. Oh, I could also... No, we could tie him to this rope. And she kind of pulls out some rope out of her backpack. It's easier to lower down the Isaac's backpack, and I assume you guys would have left your backpacks up top.
How about you go down? Yeah, have a look.
Okay.
Come back up.
Okay.
And if you hear any gunshots, it means I've seen somebody.
But
I'm joking.
You're not going to run off with the equipment, are you?
Aye, that's what I'm going to do. So go down the hole.
Okay. Okay. She winks at you. I see. Yes. She starts climbing down the hole. I'd better make a mobility roll for us. I only think it's biased. She kind of slips and lands. You hear some swearing in Polish from behind you.
You all right down there?
Yes, I'm fine. I told you we should have used the rope.
See,
she
told you shouldn't have taken the dog, but see if you can find them. Yes. Thank you.
She kind of started. Isaac, what's going on? And see, she comes into the second room and sees you just coming in the small third room. What have you found? Muted.
Sorry. I point to the radio and I say in Polish to her, the number station.
Do we know who it is? What we've found?
It looks to be America.
America.
At this point, I'm going through the papers trying to decode it.
Okay. Right. You gonna sit down by the radio or go back into the main room where the stove is?
Oh, I'll take the papers back into the main room to the big table, spread them out, and start looking over them all.
Okay. What are Kobe and doing? Should we get Noddy down? He has the backpack. So I have a rope. We can lower stuff down. They see the dog's down with you as well.
Yeah, I think we should probably move this stuff down here while Dottie is up. There's Isaac and me that can help. And perhaps while Dottie is doing that, another person should be up there watching out, because if one person is going to be concentrating on sending down equipment carefully, is not going to be watching around, and we know somebody may be coming back.
I agree. There is a little pulley rope for closing the hatch. If I go up, I can put some brush, some bushes and branches around it, maybe to conceal it when we close it down. Yes.
And we just have to pay attention for anybody that may also be coming out the tunnel.
This is a tunnel?
There is.
Show me.
It's trapped.
Yeah, I'll give her very close attention to that, yes.
She sniffs. There is a stream not too far down that way. There is... At one end, there is a small farmhouse. There is a family there. It is maybe 20 minutes walk from the stream. I don't know how long the tunnel is, but there is. I can hear the water. There's definitely something down there. You say
is she a mutant? Do we have Wolverine on our team now?
She just knows the area, can hear the water.
It could be they use that tunnel for bringing in fresh water.
Trust me, she can smell the dirty water from the sewage. She's clean. You guys are dirty. Yeah. It just smells like you.
Be careful, it's trapped when Dottie comes back down here.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have him take a look at it while we all spend time in the other room.
I'll go and help your friend with the equipment, and we'll conceal it. I'll leave you to look around and do the bits you want to do. Isaac, you should help them. She kind of heads back to the stairs, climbs up the ladder. Your leader, Kobe, says we are to lower the equipment down. We'll conceal the hatch and close it with us down in it.
All right.
You guard while I attach my rope and start lowering stuff down. Yes?
That's fine.
Good. Okay, she starts getting rope out and she starts attaching the backpacks to it, dropping them down to the bottom, and Isaac, you help her untie them and bring them in past the toilet. Anyone need the loo, by the way, because there's the composting toilet there. It's got a little doorway in a little area, beats the ditch and the hole that you've been digging up to now. Meanwhile, Kobe, what are you doing? You having another look around?
Now, you said that the little loo has a little door in it, correct? Like
it does,
door.
Yes.
Yeah, just to be a completionist, or just opening up to make sure nobody is actually hiding in there at the time. I don't expect they're using it, but I just want to make sure nobody's like using that as... No,
you can see it, and there is...
Exactly.
One occupancy one.
The alien comes out and rips your face off. No.
More room.
Yeah, the zombie's there. Sorry, it's not Halloween yet.
Exactly.
We'll do that later. There's no one there, and you can see there's composting materials are there to deal with it. It looks actually fairly clean.
So Rick is decoding. He's a medic. He's got a brain on him. He's smart.
Okay. All right.
I'm fairly confident that he's able to do the decoding.
Right.
I'm
make one recon roll to have a good look around then, if that's what you're going to be doing.
Sure. But also to glean information like who the people or person is that's here through their personal effects or their family photos, pictures, things like that. Okay. Let's see if I am me or if I am UAC.
Oh.
I'm me again, and look how much better I roll when I am.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I mean,
nice.
The UAC was rolling pretty good.
The UAC was rolling pretty good, but obviously Kobe is. It's that sense of leadership, of stepping up and showing an example to the troops. Okay. Yes. You start looking around and having a really, really good look around. The apple crates or the fruit crates at the bottom of the bed. You kind of go through them. You can see there's a tin of instant coffee. There's 2 personal med kits there. Some basic civilian clothes. Looks to be 2 different sets. There's some clothes obviously for a man and clothes obviously for a woman, as in the sizes, or a child. Scooting around.
Child's clothing.
Yeah, it could be child's clothing. Yeah, scooting around. You head over to the stove. Rick did say it was a US Army issue stove, and yes, it definitely is. You can see that there is a little fire going inside of it. There is some warmth on there. The coffee, it's lukewarm. Maybe hour and a half.
I already absentmindedly grabbed the coffee and started drinking it while I was looking at the papers.
There's an empty. Yeah, the coffee's not there, but you see the stove is there. You kind of have a good, and there's something burning in the stove, and you can see there's some papers and some photographs that seem to be burning, and you kind of just look over at Rick, who's there sat chair with the code book, looking at it and trying to discern it. And you can see there's a manila envelope on the floor that's been torn into 4 bits. You kind of gather those together, and you can see written on it is Captain Gerald Gerard, US Army.
I'll assemble the pieces and bring them over to the table where Rick's working.
And also written on there in pencil is another name. It is Sergeant Cutler ?
You Americans have such strange names.
So you continue searching around as the equipment is being brought down. Doddy, you and Kat finish up, and you go down with all the equipment. You've covered the top of the hatch up with some underbrush. Can you make a recon roll, please, as you're doing that, to see how good your concealment is?
While he's doing that, when you glossed over the part about papers and photos burning in the oven,
I didn't gloss over it. I'm just
I'm assuming that I could take out whatever is unburnt still from that, or a little bit away from the fire.
Get to that just a
okay.
little bit.
Just making sure that.
Yeah, you, Dolly, you kind of close the hatch and start climbing down the ladder, and you've got the rope that's there that Cat put, so you don't need to make a mobility roll. You're quite easily able to get down it, and you come down and you look around and you see the bog there. The first bit of civilization in the world that you've seen in months. And
he's referring to the toilet, by the way, for our American.
Sorry, yes. Yes, the toilet, the bathroom. Yes.
That's familiar.
And you start getting there, and you can see it's cozy. It's a little dark. There's some light in one of the rooms, and you can see that Kobe is moving around the rooms while Rick is sat at a desk. Isaac is helping move equipment in with Kat, and everything is looking okay.
Everything all right here then? Are we staying the night? Because I could do with a sleep.
Yeah, hit the rack.
One more thing before you do. There appears to be a trap located beyond, about 3 feet beyond that wooden door.
Why?
It's probably an IED in the tunnel.
I'll get some sleep first, eh?
Okay, well, you can go back to looking, and you can see there's a couple of beds there, Doddy. 2 bunk beds, top and a bottom. Are you a bottom bunk man or a top bunk man?
I'll get into the thing that's closest to the floor.
Okay.
Keep your rifle to hand.
Bottom bunk. Okay,
right.
You kind of pull the blanket off, and you can see there's a note that was under the blanket, just below the pillow. And I am going to show you the note there.
Oh, hey. Look, I've got a letter from Santa Claus here. And I hold it up, just walk over to whoever's nearest.
Well, you can see that Rick is sat at the table. He's closest to you.
He looks busy. Who's closer?
Kobe is down by the stove. He looks like he's trying to stoke up the fire. He's kind of just trying to reach something into the fire.
Here you go. I found this in the bed. Give it to Kobe.
Okay. You can see the photographs that are in the fire are fairly well burnt. You managed to pull out a couple of bits, and he hands you this note.
Turn around, go back to bed.
And you kind of bunk down and try and get some sleep. Which, considering you do need some sleep, yeah. Okay, so you see the note there, Kobe. It's written. It's in pen. It's in English. Right, Rick. We are going to need from you a tech. What skill are we going to use? Give me a second while I find out what skill we're going to.
Yep.
Well, I think we're just going to make shit up as we go along, which I think is always the best way. Yeah, we'll make it a recon roll.
Okay.
Because it will be. Yes, the investigator talent would be that. Yes, it's going to be a recon roll. You can give yourself a +1 because you have the code book.
Hey. How about that?
How about that?
I think that is pretty much perfect. And using the book, you decode the message. And we're going to do it. It's not English. It's not. It's definitely Polish. But I am going to show you that there. And that is what the message is written down as. There is a decoded message. You could play the audio if you wanted to, so you can get the full awesome Polish language. But if you don't want to, you don't have to. It's a lot shorter.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it.
Oh, it's there.
That's the written, but you can play the decoded message. I could spend about 10 minutes doing it, so you could do it for everyone.
Judas is the priority. Repeat, Judas is the priority. Recovery is only at all costs. Operation reset over.
Isaac. Perhaps you would be the best to read this to us.
You can read this.
I haven't shown it to anybody yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
I don't know this guy.
I apologize. Okay. Fair enough.
Okay, yeah.
Fair enough.
So you've got this decoded message. It's in Polish.
Right. So I call Kobe over. I'm like, I can't make heads or tails of it. This is the message. It's up to you. Then I hand it to him, and then I head over. I just find a place to just sit down in the corner and rest my back up against the wall and lean my head back. And
yeah, you basically move the chair over to the side near the stove.
Why don't you take the upper bunk and give your leg a rest?
Does that mean climbing up the ladder?
How am I going to get up that bunk?
Okay. Well, Dottie's already snoring, so I wouldn't want
the same way you're going to get out of this hole.
I see.
Not for a few days.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna hand it over. Say, Isaac, this is the most we could do with the message.
So now you've got the message you found on the bed, and you've got this decoded message now. As you read it, Isaac,
yeah,
it translates to Station 7 compromised. This is my final transmission. Judas is a legend. Judas is in the wind. All assets, Judas is the priority. Repeat, Judas is the priority. Recover eyes only at all costs. Operation Reset.
Does that mean anything to you?
Would I know anything about Station 7? Or is that...
You don't know anything about Station 7.
I mean, the only thing that we'd all know would be Operation Reset from that, right?
But Operation Reset was the NATO offensive
that failed
to push the Soviet forces out of Poland and to push to Warsaw. That failed.
Or maybe it was always part of the plan to fail and something else is going to happen.
What is this Operation Reset, you know?
It was nothing now.
It was a failed operation. It's finished. It was the NATO operation to push the Soviets out of here. Why is this message important now? I think we have enough information. We want to stop. I would want to stop the transmission. I don't want anything to give away this hideout at this point. And Lieutenant Parker chose the right man for the job to Dottie when taking care of that ordinance. He was there at the time. However, Kobe is not going to send Dottie on a dangerous mission to take care of unexploded ordnance without him doing it first himself.
Right.
So, because that's just not
okay.
my thing.
Yes. Have you got any skills in explosive ordnance?
Well, I'm going to definitely use my combat engineer skill that I have.
That is so lucky. Okay, so you've got the 2 messages now. Did you anyone read out the second message, the first message?
Yeah, but did anybody let us know?
I don't know.
About the farm?
It was Dottie showed it to us. I showed it to you.
Okay, so do you want to read out the second message, the first message, the one that was on the bed?
It says, at the farm. I'll wait for you with the kids and their grandmother as long as I can. Take the stream.
The stream, I'm assuming, is that water that
Cat says is
heard, right?
Yes.
And the farm is nearby too.
It's about 10-15 minutes walk up the stream.
Perhaps you do not need to disarm that device if we can just walk to the...
Yeah, and unless this is a way to get there without being noticed by anybody else who's up there. We don't know if there are any other Russians patrolling the area.
We do not know if there are any more of these devices in the tunnel.
Well, take the stream could be a code for taking the tunnel, but...
Perhaps. But there is a stream nearby.
Does your friend always snore like that? Is he married? I could not... You must be used to it, yes?
We sometimes have to throw military boots at him.
Right.
That's what you do to snorers in the army. You throw a boot, and that stops the snoring.
No, show me.
It's been a long day. I fear if I take my boots off now, I'm not going to get them back on. And we still have these people at the farm.
Indeed.
But to me, what makes the most sense is that maybe the person already went towards the farm.
So, you think the American officer we saw wrote this note?
I have no way to connect those two things together. But we know the coffee's about an hour and a half old, and
yes. So I guess we wait. Yes.
We could wait for the person to come back who this message is intended for. Yes.
Well, I should go and see if I can hunt us some rabbits. Is that okay? I promised your friend some rabbit stew.
Just be careful. Do you want one of us to join you?
Oh, I'll be fine. I've been running around these woods since I was 8 years old. There's probably more I could tell you about these woods than you could tell me. And no offense, you make so much noise when you're walking.
Yes.
You know, you should be lighter on your feet. I shall knock 3 times on the hatch when I come back, so you know it's me.
Okay, I'll tie down the hatch so nobody else can open it.
Yes. Now you'll have to climb up and unhook it then. Yes.
There's one
No, the rope that comes all the way down from the thing to do it. I'm just going to tie it to the bottom rung of the ladder.
Yes.
There's one thing you may wish to consider. Whoever left this place, he left the hatch open. If he sees it closed when he returns, won't he suspect that somebody is here?
This is also true, and likely they'll come back soon enough if they left the lantern lit. Otherwise, they would have extinguished the lantern before leaving. Somebody must have expected to be able to come back here before that lantern goes out.
And unless, of course, there was someone here and then someone opened the hatch and maybe one used the tunnel to get out.
All right. I think we keep the hatch closed for now. And I'll keep it unlocked and we'll keep an ear out.
Yes, it will be good. I will be as quickly as I can. Isaac, don't get yourself killed.
Just say, Polly. Yeah. Be careful.
Of course. She heads out to the hatch, leaves her backpack, just grabs her skinning knife and her crossbow, and she starts climbing up and closes the hatch behind her. And you go and tie it down. So is Rick getting some sleep then, or is he staying awake, just relaxing, or what's he doing? What's his state of mind?
Oh, he's trying to sleep.
Trying to sleep. Okay, yeah. And Doddy is definitely
not
asleep.
Very well with everyone talking, chattering.
No, Kobe's
Doddy though
he's
is out for the count because he did an overnight watch, so he's zonked out.
Kobe, forget it. Kobe is actually pulling the mattress off the top of the bed, thereby exposing any secret messages that may be hidden in there as well. Putting it on the floor or table or anywhere that is comfortable for Rick to get on, so he'll have a proper sleep on a proper mattress with a proper pillow and a blanket. How's that?
Perhaps he'll wake up in a better mood.
I doubt it.
Well, you just take the mattress off the top bunk down and make a nice little bed by the stove. Yeah, that's what you're gonna do. There you go. Are you turning off the radio, by the way, in the generator?
I'd like to, yes.
Okay. Yeah. You go and turn it off, and you can see it's an old style tape recorder, and as you kind of just go around, you can see there's a couple of other tapes there, and you can see that a couple of them are how the Americans say rock and roll, and you get some classic music tapes of the late 80s and 90s, and it kind of just takes you back a moment to home. You remember some of this music growing up, some of the crazy British bands that were all the rage in the time, the punk rock music. And
Wham?
Yeah, that's the sort of thing. Yeah, songs of that nature. You see one. It says Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Two tribes. And it kind of just sends you back to that era of, that growing up. I mean, what's Kobe?
Do you remember that?
I remember
that when we were so close to World War III. Remember that?
Yeah. I grew up in a town with the biggest fuel dump in England in it. So a village rather. So yeah, we heard the sirens going off when they tested things. But yeah, you are kind of going back to that sort of thing. And I mean, what is Kobe? He's in his 30s.
I believe in the notes. 30. Exactly 30.
He's 30, Born in 70, he would have seen and heard all this. And you just kind of just there, and it just for a moment just takes you to a time when hell wasn't about to freeze over and death was not even in your thought, your idea of learning about war was the history lessons you took about Vietnam and the chaos and the craziness of that. And yeah, just for a moment, it just kind of makes you long for home. And what happened to home? What's going on there? Was it destroyed? Was there this nuclear weapons launched? Maybe was Rick right? Is there nothing left over there? And you can see and feel Pi just nudges your leg. Kind of nudges your leg again.
I look down and I'm like, somebody has to take him out, don't they?
Kind of nudges you again.
I'm gonna go take him out. I opened the wooden door.
Oh,
are you
no, not doing that to Pi.
That's what Rick would have suggested.
I know.
That's harsh.
I wouldn't do that.
That's harsh.
Don't send any emails. I would never do that.
Oh,
neither would I as a person. I'm just saying, Rick is not a fan.
I you know what I'm going to. So nobody else is still awake except for Isaac.
Isaac is still awake, yes. You think Rick has nodded off in the seat. He's quite close to the stove, and there is a little bit of heat, but the fire is definitely gone down off this wood burning stove.
I'm not a suspicious person by nature. I'm just gonna head off. Note to Isaac. I'm gonna take the dog to do his business.
The dog needs to shit.
And I'll head off to Rick, and he's probably in the middle of starting to doze. Just say, gotta let the dog out. Be back in a minute.
Okay. Well, you climb up the ladder. The extra rope that Kat had with her is there, so you can use that to support you and the dog. So you're okay on the mobility roll. We'll leave it there. And you kind of lift the hatch open. Dog, as you climb out, and it's getting towards early evening now, and the dog kind of just wanders off and starts sniffing the trees. And about 5 minutes later, it does its business and comes back. And you're kind of just picking the dog up, looking around, and I said it is getting dark. Slowly. It's you're in the forest, you're in the woods. It's getting dark. And you just hear in the distance the crack of some gunshots. Not close, but you hear the sounds, and the sounds are familiar of Soviet AK automatic weapons going off in the distance.
I'm gonna go down and Isaac. No, sorry, Isaac.
Yeah, I appear at the bottom of the hatch and looking up.
Motion him to come up.
I go grab my gun.
Okay. Yeah, you grab your sniper rifle and head up. And again, as you get to the top, you can just hear in the distance the crack of automatic weapons fire.
Is it coming from the direction of the farm?
Make a recon roll.
Just tell me.
Well, give yourself a +1, because, the sound reverberates off the trees, but you do know the area, so we'll give you a nice +1 to it.
Okay.
Because it's starting to get dark, so it's, in the trees or in the woods. Come on.
I don't have anything that's going to help. Oh.
Do you know, that was on that 10. I saw the dice on the 10, and I rolled it down. I thought, no! Oh, it's got it.
It's teasing.
It's teasing. You listen. And yes, the gunshots are coming from that farm.
Well, I just say, I kind of mutter it, perhaps not even to Kobe, go, cat, and I start running off in that.
And that is where we'll stop for tonight.